As week 4 draws to its conclusion here, we are left with another week's worth of testing, another week's worth of bug reporting, pros, cons, and concerns, not only from myself, but also I think the community at large. But before we get into too many details, I think we have to step back and really take a look at what we're seeing inside of Ashes. Let's get into it. Now, you might be asking yourself, what do I mean by concerns over this week's testing? Well, what I will say is we'll get into that in a few moments here, but what I do want to talk about is what I was doing and what I experienced during this week's testing. This week started off a lot better. I know Steven had made mention that this was one of their better weekends of testing as far as performance and stability goes. I will say that it did seem a lot more stable. There were a lot of different terrain changes, additions of different assets, such as trees and things like that, throughout the Riverlands. Especially our node, Halcyon, saw some elevation change in the road leading into town. So that was kind of cool to see. These changes that were made. The downside of that was that some of these changes that were made left NPCs in weird places, or mobs to spawn in weird places. We did have one of the raid bosses, Tumak, come in and raid the entire city. I don't know if someone dragged him there or if his path of patrol led him there or not, but unfortunately that led to some significant XP debt, as I've died a few times, but we did defend our city. As a group of citizens defending our homes, we did take him down eventually. I started doing my testing on my main character, my mage, and really just kind of went through and soloed a bunch of stuff and just kind of did that loop and that grind a little bit, and found that the testing was very good. Mage is coming along as a solid class. I think I'm going to do a separate video on the mage and the cleric. But, the combat's good. A level 15 mage now. I have a lot of self-sustain. I respect into a different skill set that manage a little bit better with mana resources and single target DPS. So we did do a lot of testing around that. Outside of that, we did do group testing, and we did focus on some PvP aspects, testing some PvP systems, both internally within our alliance and, externally, where we engage different groups in PvP. Where we started out was caravans, as usual. This time what we were doing was, a lot of us within the alliance were running caravans. As you can see, I found a bunch of alliance folks that I was in a Discord call with, running their caravan, and I said, for science, I'm going to do something, and you see I flagged as an attacker. This was the first time I think that a lot of us engaged in a defense of a caravan outside of us attacking one. So it was good to see the mechanics at play here. I obviously got stomped out by this team here, no problem. But one thing that was important to note and test was, how it was engaging in the caravan, and two was the need to see if certain bugs were fixed or still around. We did run into situations where we were dropping our flags, whether we were defending or attacking. So it's hard to tell if that's how the system is intended or if it was an actual bug. Later on, this same player was then, killed quite a few times by someone who said they were defending a caravan and they were being flagged as, a combatant. So I don't know if this is a remnants of that or not, but it seems as if the flagging system within caravans is still a little bit buggy, and overall caravans are just buggy in general now. As you can see, also we did find a bug that we reported on, which was throughout this entire skirmish, I was able to respawn back at my dead body and immediately engage in attacking the caravan again. I even had time to loot my own body, given the fact that they let me do that. But as you can see, that was quite a bug, and we did bug report on that as well to see, what Intrepid can do. I think that's not just solely on caravans, but it does happen out there in the open world as well. One thing too was this was my first time executing on my new mage build, so I respec'd into a more single target, heavier focused DPS. So it was good to see that my respec and the skills that I went with are working out a little bit better for me than they were with my original spec on my mage. So we have been improving the mage gameplay and the overall experience as playing as a mage. As you can see, I was able to take on a ranger of equal level and kind of just get him down. It was a fairly even fight. I didn't even know that I took him out right there. I must have critted on that last fireball. Shout out to Hyper for taking the team beat down there for me at least once. I got one lick in on them. From there, like I said, we continue to test caravans internally within the guild and the alliance. We're testing caravans for launch and the payouts of them, and how we're going to pay guards and people accompanying us on our caravan runs and things like that to understand the mechanics behind that. And like I said, we did run into a area where I think there is some concern, and it overlaps with the general concerns of a lot of people in the community, and that is the environment of toxic PvP. As we're getting ready to set up here, you'll notice that I do have a caravan event meter up at the top. There is no caravan currently anywhere in the vicinity, so my only assumption is that's the caravan event that I joined as an attacker that they have already brought back into town. That caravan has disappeared. What you're going to see here shortly is one of our alliance members just gets absolutely smoked by a level 22 player repeatedly, over and over and over again. Every time he respawned, there was a few times that he respawned on his body. There was times where he went back to the Ember Springs and respawned, and he was just getting absolutely nuked down by this level 22 ranger. Now, I will say, if the mechanics are working as intended, and they appear to be an attacker and you're in a defensive stance of a caravan, then yeah, obviously that mechanic is working as intended. But in this case, that person was being flagged as an attacker of a caravan, and there was no caravan present anywhere. So that led this person to just continuously attack them, and having no repercussions of the flagging system and no de-incentivized to say, listen, I don't want to engage in toxic PvP. There was clearly no caravan present and no caravan underway or being attacked, and this player decided to repeatedly just PK someone and exploited a bug right in front of all of us, even after we had let them know, like, hey, listen, the guy is bugged, the caravan is bugged, stop killing people and basically exploiting a bug for your benefit. If you want to PvP us, we're launching a caravan here in a few minutes. Just wait till the caravan gets launched and then PvP us the right way. As you can see, we're reacting right here to him just constantly killing our fellow Alliance member. There's quite a few of us here that were watching, this happen and rezzing and healing and doing our best. But you can see we're rezzing him up right away, and here comes the next kill from that same player. And you can see there is no caravan. He's not attacking a caravan. There's no reason to PK that person, and he PKs him and ultimately does not face any of the negative consequences that the PvP flagging system is supposed to incur on a player. And I think this is a prime example of what the community feels is a huge concern within Ashes. Could this stem from being a bug? Yes. Could this be an option when the game launches? Maybe if this bug is not addressed or there's a mechanics, that people take advantage of. But in this case, obviously there is no benefit to killing that other player over and over. Look, the player gets up, he instantly kills him. This is the toxic behavior that no one wants to see, and shame on that player and shame on the other player that was with him. They were two players. I have no problem showing their names here. They're just going around PKing people that they see flagged as attackers, and there are no caravans present at all. They were both told multiple times. As you can see, they then come into the village here and start attacking people at random without facing any repercussions. Intrepid, this is huge concern within a good chunk of the player base. This cannot be allowed to be part of the game. I'm sorry. As much as I enjoy the PvP mechanics, and I am not a hardcore PvP player by any means, but I do think that there is a time and a place for PvP, and I will engage in PvP as it is intended to be. However, Intrepid, this bug, this issue, this workaround to the anti-corruption or working around becoming flagged or being corrupted needs to be addressed a little bit more strenuously or seriously. As you can see, these players just were killing people at will here. There's no benefits. There's nothing happening here at all. So this is a major concern within the community. Not only is there a ton of XP debt that was incurred by all of these players, the dropped resources, the dropped glint, the dropped items that people were crafting with or whatnot. As you can see right here, we're calling everybody, dump your pockets in storage when you can, because it's just flagging people randomly as defenders or attackers based off of what you were doing in prior caravans. And this person, again, like I said, these two people just keep attacking folks. You're going to see here that they're going to come in again, and they're going to start attacking not only our group again, but there's some actual pirates that they're attacking, and so on and so forth. Finally, I put out a message in the Node citizen chat of, hey, we have some toxic actors in our node. Let's band together as citizens and defend our node away from these toxic actors. So, that was my attempt at trying to turn this negative into somewhat of a positive community type social MMO interaction, where we're going to take on this player and try and PK them and flag up on them, right? To get them out of here, to say, listen, we're not going to stand for you just coming into our town and player killing people and not facing any of the repercussions of the corruption system or anything along those lines. And as you can see, eventually this person got what they deserved, and then they proceeded to attack our caravan after we launched it. So I don't have a problem with them attacking the actual caravan here after it is launched. That is the intended mechanic, obviously, of the caravan system versus the attackers versus the defenders. However, again, I'm going to highlight these two individuals on screen. You guys are absolutely toxic pieces of you-know-what. I'm sorry to be blunt like that, but you are the people that Ashes of Creation and Intrepid and Steven really need to get out of the community. That is the bottom line here, and you know that could be a hot take for some of you. If you're the person that was on screen that was being toxic, or you know them, or you're part of their guild, and you feel a certain type of way hearing that, I'm sorry. That is the God's honest truth. That behavior was toxic and unacceptable, and you don't really have a place, I don't think, in the Ashes community at all. You're exploiting a bug, you're exploiting working around a system. You came as a level 22 and we're picking on levels 7 to, I don't know, 15 at that point. I don't think there was anyone close to you within 5 levels that you attacked. So it was clear that you were attacking people of a lower level. Hopefully Intrepid will, address this issue. Reported this as a bug, and we reported it as an exploitable bug that could be, game breaking, or could be something that could be breaking for the testing phase and even the game at launch. So again, hopefully Intrepid addresses it. Hopefully these folks, these bad actors, get addressed, and hopefully maybe highlighting them here in today's video gives them a sense to change their direction and their play style. Because again, being toxic for the sake of being toxic is just dumb. Just don't bother people. Go play a single player game at that point, right? And have your fun there killing NPCs, right? Like, if you're not going to engage in the systems as they're intended to be, then, I have to call it what it is, and that's just toxic. And I have to end with this caveat of all of my critiques, my criticism is to better the game development and the community around Ashes of Creation. It is not to belittle the team or anything like that. What do you guys think? Go ahead, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Go ahead, give the video a like, and subscribe to the channel. A vast majority of you are not subscribed to the channel, so all that takes is just hitting that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It's completely free, and it helps out the channel, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and as always, we'll see ya on the next one.